at the time. It hurt me at the time, but I was also a Blue Jackets fan, so
Really? Oh, there's the man himself.
What's up, guys?
Hey
was it
there.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, pretty
right.
all right.
pretty good.
Cool. Oh, I wanted to start the show off. You guys, I heard you talking about the President's Trophy. Did you guys see the goalie fight between
Yeah.
San Jose and
Yes.
Florida?
Oh, I heard.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Another goalie fight.
So you don't see them very.
Bobrovsky came all the way down from the other end.
Bobrovsky.
Sure.
No.
Take on,
Yeah. Was
Yeah, it was Bob.
Bobrovsky? Yeah.
to take on
Nedeljkovic.
Nedeljkovic. Yeah,
Don't mess with that.
good times.
That brings back the old times. The Bruins and Canadians. Toronto, Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
Florida, Tampa Bay.
Rangers, Islanders.
Rangers, Islanders. Flyers, Penguins. I remember a couple of years back when the Flyers played the Penguins and they had all those fights.
That's right.
Matt Cook, Wayne Simmons. But what do y'all think about the two big trades that have gone down in MLB over the last couple days? Freddie Peralta to
the Mets. Mets.
And they didn't have to give up their top two prospects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let's see what you can do from last season. I mean, last season you had a great start to the season, but then when mid-June came around, injuries, you just collapsed and died.
Yeah, well, and then there's the Dodgers adding Kyle Tucker.
Oh, boy. I still see a 3P. A 3P is very hard to come by in this day and age. So even if you got
I don't see the Dodgers three-peating.
No.
I don't know who can beat them. I don't see anybody that's done enough.
Brad's gonna laugh at me for this. The Padres.
I picked them every year to beat the Dodgers, and they still haven't done it yet. So
possibility.
Every year we do our baseball preview show, and I always say NL West Padres, and every year I say that, and they
who did I say when we did ours the other day? Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks, correct. You
said I haven't seen anyone do enough to be able to counter what the Dodgers can throw out there on a night-to-night basis.
I mean, the Diamondbacks went out and got Suarez. Not Suarez. Who was the third baseman for the Cardinals? Arenado. And then they're supposed to get Corbin Burns back at some point this year.
Yeah.
They've still got Brandon Pfaadt. They've still got a really good pitching rotation. Their only issue is, can Eduardo Rodriguez stay healthy a whole season?
Well, what's that story?
I tell you, I think the Cardinals are going to be the worst team in baseball this year. Worse than the White Sox.
No, that says something. Or the Rockies.
Well, yeah, but the Rockies, I like the direction they're going in with the hires they've made.
You can't do much worse than last year.
And I was reading they're going to actually give their prospects a chance to compete for opening day roster spots.
Uh-huh.
So like Zach Veen, Charlie Condon, whatever pitching prospects they have, they're all going to get opportunities. Because, I mean, they don't really have that many veterans on that team.
No, they don't.
I mean, Kyle Freeland. Most of their rotation's young. I think give the Rockies 2 or 3 more years, and we might be talking about them not winning the division, but being in the playoffs.
Mm.
I'd say more like about 5 years.
I would say between 2 to 4 years.
Okay.
I just
World
don't see
Series in
it.
08.
And then I can see the White Sox.
Well, there's no season next year, so
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. Because they're going to go on strike. That's
that,
Yeah.
Pretty
like
Foregone
small.
conclusion.
it's all but it's a pretty that's all but a foregone conclusion. I just don't see I don't see either side being willing to come to the table. I don't know how
Well,
long.
and Brad and I talked about this the other day. I think one thing they need to get rid of in this new collective bargaining agreement is the ghost runner on second base.
I
An
like the
extra.
Ghost Runner after 12.
Yes,
I am.
after 12 innings, that's fine. But the 10th and 11th, you don't need no ghost runner.
I think the 10th and 11th should be played straight up, and then after 12 it should be a Ghost Runner on first. After 14, a Ghost Runner on second. After 15, a Ghost Runner on third, and after 16, a Ghost Runner at home plate.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Okay, so no, so after 11, it should be ghost runner at second base all the way through until the end of the game.
All right.
And then do you think they need to get rid of the pitch clock, or is it helping speed
it's
up
great.
games?
It's helping.
No,
It's
pitch
good
clock
game.
is fantastic.
Keep it.
The pitch clock
But-
makes baseball watchable.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
It-
But
you
do
know,
you think they need
what-
to limit how many mound visits you get per game?
they
Yes.
already do. You get 5 mound visits a game.
That's still a lot.
No, not really.
I was
It's what, a
thinking
minute?
maybe up it to 6.
I think it's 5 or 6 right now.
It's 5.
And I'm fine.
5.
I'm fine with it. I think overall pace of play is solid. I think 2 hours and 40 minutes for 9 innings is pretty solid on a night-to-night
Yes.
basis. I have no problem with 2 hours and 40 minutes. It gives you 20 minutes on both sides. So,
Actually, it's
I'll let
4.
you
is it 4?
Okay.
I think
4 per 9. Yeah.
Now, unless you got an 18 inning extra inning game, well, it's straight altogether.
Yeah, because every
Eight-
inning when
you get 8, Lou,
extra,
if you get to 18.
one extra.
Every 9
You
innings,
get
you
an
get one
extra mound visit every extra inning.
Yeah.
Now, I could see that being a problem where that could bog the game down and slow the game down if you get another mound visit every inning at the
Yeah,
top.
that would just. I mean,
Because
And
you
now-
the
want
other
because
thing
now
I
even
think
if
they
it's-
need to do is they need to expand the rosters from
Yeah,
26.
25. It's 25-man
No.
roster.
No, it's 26
When did it go to 26?
after COVID. It's been
Yes.
26, and then at September 1st, it goes to 28, which is stupid.
Hmm.
I think it needs to be you get 28 guys on opening day, because then you could carry, say you got a guy that just rakes in spring training, and you have to tell him, look, I'm sorry, we don't have a spot for you on the opening day roster. If you expand the roster to 28, you have 2 extra spots. So you can carry an extra pitcher and an extra bench player. And in September, I think it needs to be, I'm not going to say 40 because I feel like that's excessive, but I feel like it
Way
needs to be
excessive.
33 or 34.
Just go to 30 and leave it at 30 all year.
Yeah.
I was gonna say go to 30 all year.
You could have what you could do.
Well, and
is
what about for
wait,
double
wait, wait.
headers? What about for
You have-
double headers?
Hmm.
Because
What
you get
you
an
could
extra
do-
guy for double headers.
What you could do is you could have the 26-man roster and then have 4 protected players that aren't on the roster but can be activated to play the next day. Like they're there, They're in the building.
so
They're working out
okay,
like
so like they did during COVID, kind of
a practice squad. You have
like
your standard
the
26 man. Yeah,
alternate sites.
yeah, an alternate, and they travel with the team. They eat with the team. They practice with the team. If you don't think they need time in the minors, or they're an older veteran player who's just hanging around to get a pension, and he just wants to be on a roster. So he travels. Maybe you're looking at moving an older player into more of a managerial role and a coaching role, but you want him to be available to play in the need. If somebody gets hurt or somebody needs a day.
Yeah.
Or if you just had an 18 inning game or a 15 inning game and you need an extra body and you don't want to bring somebody up from AAA.
Right.
Well, let's say you're out in let's say you're the Red Sox are out in Anaheim to play the Angels in a three game set. Well, game one goes 15 innings. You have those 4 roster spots that are reserved for extra. They're not dressed, so they can't come into the game, but they travel with the team and they're in the dugout, but they're not dressed, so they can't come. And if they do come in the game, it's an automatic out and the players are suspended for a game. So
Right.
it prevents them from trying to sneak an extra guy out onto the field.
Yeah, I like Brad's idea though of having a 30-man roster the entire year.
Not bad. I like the idea.
It's not. But and the other thing I think that needs to be fixed is like you see these guys at the end of the year, that have been healthy the entire year, and then all of a sudden, they get like a phantom. And we've seen it, Brad, with the Rays and the Red Sox.
Yeah.
They give these guys phantom injuries at the end of the year to shut them down.
Fake, you mean? Wow.
Yeah,
Phantom fingernail issue.
Oh.
Or
Yeah.
it's been malingering for 3 months, and now they're out of the playoffs, so they can actually disclose it. So
Yes.
yeah,
that's
like,
more. I would be more surprised if guys weren't injured.
or they just do it like you do in hockey, where you don't tell, like, we're putting a guy on the injured list, but he's got a lower body injury.
Yeah.
Like, make it harder.
Sports gamblers don't like that.
No, they don't.
Sucks for them.
Who wants a fortune?
Sports gamblers don't like that.
Too
Well,
bad for them.
You guys were talking earlier about the pitch clock. When I had credentials for the Rays in 2024, I was not too far from the guy that operated the clock. And it's pretty cool with the communication. He wears, the headphone case, and the umpire makes a sign. He'll push the clock, and then the umpire, if there's a time, he'll stop it. Or if the player jumps out, he'll stop it and reset it. It's a pretty cool process to watch it done. But I think the pitch clock needs to stay.
Yeah.
Like Adam said, it makes baseball tolerable. I don't want to sit for 4 or 5 hours when the average game now lasts 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Unless, okay, let me use the example. So when the Rays go to, and it happened very rarely last year, but the last few years it's happened a lot. When they go to Boston, New York, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Every once in a while in Toronto, they'll run into rain. And the game gets delayed, or they try to play and they start the game and then it goes into a rain delay. That adds however long the rain delay is. That adds another hour onto the game.
Okay. I don't know where you're going with that. What do you want? What do you want them to do? Are you?
I'm just saying.
What is that? I fail to see I'm trying to understand what your point is, and if I miss something in there, does that have anything to do with the pitch clock? What are you talking?
No. Nothing to do with the pitch clock.
Okay, I missed the train.
Pace a game minus the pitch clock. Like you start a game and you get through like 4 innings, and then all of a sudden. And you already knew there was going to be rain in the forecast. Why not just postpone the game and do a doubleheader the next day?
It really depends on when the rain is scheduled. if you can get 4 or 5 innings in, if you can get 5.5 innings in,
It's okay.
and the home
Yep.
team has a lead, that's game. The game is official at that point. If you get through if you're into the top of the, if you're into the top of the, if you're in the bottom of the fifth or the bottom, if you're in the bottom of any inning from that point on, it's an official game.
Hmm.
So if we start, let's say rain scheduled at 8:45, and it is another great reason to have the pitch clock. Um, so if the rain is scheduled at 8:45, first pitch is at 7:07. You've got you've got approximately an hour and 38 minutes to get as much of baseball, as much of the game in as you can.
Yeah.
So if you can get to the top of the six or the top or the bottom, if you can get to the bottom of the six and the home team has a lead, rains come, games, you give it 20 minutes, 25 minutes, let's say rains come in right at 8:45, shut it down, get prep on the field at 8:46. By 9 o'clock, the rain hasn't moved out, it's not slapped off, then game's official. And we don't have to try and make this game up later on in the year. So that
Right.
from a standpoint of TV, because you got to think about it, is that it's not just you win, and we Brad and I have talked about this a lot, and I harp on it every year, especially at playoff time, especially for football, is that and this was now in the new contracts where it's more on more on streaming services where you don't have the considerations of network television to deal with, but in the old days you would have network television to deal with. And what would happen is that if your game was scheduled to go off the air at 10:30, and then your game ends at 10:30, game starts at 7:07, game goes off the air, scheduled to go off the air at 10:30. And then you have a half an hour of post game, especially on your local channels. You have a half hour, so you have 30 minutes baked in. So if the game does go long, you can cut the the post game show a little short and get on to the next programming block. Jesus, that was hard for me to say. So when you
Mainly
get on,
local news.
so you can get onto the next, and the problem is that especially with football being on broadcast television, if the game starts at 6:40, the game's scheduled at 6:40, like the championship weekend games are this weekend, scheduled at 6:40, scheduled to go off the air, scheduled to be over at 9:40 or 9:45, 9:50. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there in case of a lot of scoring or a lot of stoppages so that the game goes a little bit long, or it ends a little early and you might need to fill a little bit. But when
Yeah.
that game is scheduled to go off, the next group of programming has already been sold and was sold 6 months ago. The commercials were sold 6 months ago. Everything. So those games, they need to get as many of those games in. And so even if they have to delay a game, if they have to delay a game, move a game around because of weather, you still want to try to get in its original programming slot. Because if you have to move it, then you have to work with the advertisers, the other programs that are on the network, and it becomes a whole cluster of
Yes.
finagling things to make sure that you can satisfy everybody and pay whatever you have to pay to get the sporting program or the game aired. And there's a lot of money that's already been allocated to broadcasting games. And there's just as much money behind and in the next programming block that, and especially if you have, especially on network television, because they want to put on shows that are going to keep that audience, that NFL audience engaged, or the baseball audience, or so that they can capture an audience that may not necessarily watch a scripted network television show.
Right.
That's why there's big premieres the after conference championship games, after the Super Bowl, after a finals game. So those things are all go into consideration when it comes to start times, delays, moving things around. Those are all things that we as fans, we don't think about because I don't really care about the next episode of whatever Hollywood
Right.
slots coming up next.
Yeah, that you're
Exactly.
absolutely right, and that's the whole thing. Is networks have already promised certain shows, certain commercials. So if the game runs over, that's not good for the network.
No, it isn't. So like, speed it
Oh, a
up.
streaming service, because I know, like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still kind of new to the streaming era of everything. I know in my Prime membership, I have commercials. I know you can pay extra not to have ads, but
Right.
and then like Netflix has an ad here or there in a movie, and then just I guess it depends on how much you want to spend for whatever premium uh,
Yeah.
streaming network you have. But with that's why I think a lot of and that I think that's why sports are going to streaming services, because if it does go over, they don't have to worry about because the network will cut away after a while, because again, like Adam said, they've already got programming set up for that time slot and ads that are set up for that time slot. So that's why if you guys watch football and we're going to cut away now, the rest of the game is on this channel if you want to watch it, because they have to cut away. Where like now with Raw being on Netflix, they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to
Right.
worry about, and that's why with me covering high school football, there are no commercial breaks. That's why they take water breaks.
Right.
That's their timeout. Is they take water breaks more in JV than obviously in varsity, but still, that's the way that they take their breaks. Is they'll go water
Mm-hmm.
break, So.
What about?
Push the
Yeah.
push the mute button, take a drink on mute, and we're back at it.
Yep, correct. So
Um, and so that's why you see those games. That's why TV start. That's why they hate when games go long. TV
mm-hmm.
doesn't want a game to go long. They want
Right.
TV might no it's a little bit different, and I'm not as I don't know how streaming services feel about it, because like if you're streaming, you don't necessarily have a set programming block. But for
Yeah.
terrestrial over the air networks 10, 15 years ago, yeah, they wanted the game over as soon as they could get it over with, because they had already sold that airtime to both the the show the advertisers had bought. Each programming block has a certain set of advertisers that are centered around that program. So whether it was Desperate Housewives and you had a lot of female-based products, or whether it was Monster, let's say CBS had Monster Jam at 4:40,
Right.
so they were, you know, and in the late local window, CBS didn't have a second game. Fox had the second game, so CBS had Monster Jam on. So Monster Jam has bought uh, advertisers have bought a block of commercials, have bought the stream, have bought the ad space around Monster Jam. Monster Jam advertisers that cater to whatever a Monster Jam crowd might be into, have bought, or like NCAA. See, I'm more familiar with CBS is because that's the channel that I used, the dramas that I used to watch way back in the day. But let's say NCIS was having a premiere on a Sunday night after 60 Minutes. So
Yes.
the NCIS advertisers may not be the same ones as the NFL, and you know because it's all about demographics and what they think that they can advertise to the audience that's going to be tuning into that programming. So if football goes long and they have to move everything, and 60 Minutes is going to start late, so um now NCIS is starting late and Ghost Whisperer is starting late. So then the audience that might have tuned in at 8 o'clock for NCIS
And they figure what the hell's
not be
going on.
interested in um 60 Minutes. So they might tune out and they may not come back. So
Mhm.
when NCIS starts, because they might not know when NCIS is now going to start.
Right. I mean, they always want to get more in a hurry, but of course, sometimes you just can't help it, especially with baseball. because once they go, actually, you never know how long it's going to go. I mean, like I said, the game went 18 innings. I mean, they had no national program, but they had their local news. It was very late that night, and like it was like, is this game ever going to end? It's like it was nuts.
And if your local Fox has bought the rights, to broadcast in syndication The Big Bang Theory. It's two back-to-back episodes of The Big Bang Theory, back-to-back episodes of Seinfeld,
Yeah.
and then you go into the infomercial window from 1 to 3. The local advertisers are expecting a certain group of people to be watching. The advertisers are expecting a certain group of people to be watching. So they're going to buy ad space at that time because it's probably cheaper to buy the 11:30 slot than
Yeah.
the 8:30 slot on your local Fox. So
Yeah.
you might pay, let's say it's $5,000, let's say it's $100,000 for the prime on a Saturday night prime time slot on your local Fox.
Yes.
But at the 8:30 during the MLB. But the 11:30 after baseball is only $5,000. Well, we can swing $5,000 for your local car dealership or your local whatever hot dog stand.
Yeah.
Your local haberdasher might be able to scrounge $5,000 for an 11:30 slot on a Saturday night after a baseball game, but he can't. And so he spent that money on that slot, and if the baseball game goes long, then the commercial gets pushed back till 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And now,
shit.
and now, he was banking on the baseball game being, and having an extra, 100,000 local eyeballs on the game. And or on the channel, because people, because a lot of people just, when the game gets over, you get up and you clean up and you put stuff away. And it's like, so you leave the TV on the game, because it's the last game of the night. So he's banking on there being, the game getting over at 11:15, 11:10. People are gonna leave it on for another 20 minutes and just watch whatever's on while they get cleaned up and everybody gets, goes on to their wherever they're gonna go. And now this commercial is pushed back till 1 a.m, and everybody's gone. As soon as the game gets over, everything's getting shut off and everybody is going to bed.
Right. In most cases.
I hope that answers your question.
Well, and then where that advertisement runs big, but is Super Bowl Sunday, because it's so expensive to run your ads during no matter what time I mean, obviously, I'm sure it might be cheaper after the game is over, but during the game, those ads are pretty hefty.
It's a premium ad. It's a premium ad block.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay premium. You're going to pay premium prices, and when you have, Bob's used car and hot dog stand ain't going to be able to swing a Super Bowl commercial.
No.
But he might be able to swing a commercial in the local spot after the national. Let's say Fox is premiering a new show. I don't know who has the Super Bowl this year. I'm not sure if it's Fox or NBC.
NBC.
Is it NBC this year?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he might be able to swing a spot in the local in that national. So NBC, let's say NBC is debuting a new show. Let's make up a name and say Minute Maid. It's Minute Maid, and it's a show about 4 maids living in New York City and the hijinks they get up to, and it's a 30-minute cleaning service, and it's called Minute Maid, and it's you got 4 young actresses all living in one apartment, sharing rent, and living in New York City and working as maids. And they have, one's an actress, an inspiring actress, one's an inspiring singer, one's an aspiring dancer. So they all moved in. Okay, anyway, and so your Bob's local cars, used cars and hot dog stand, he might go, you know what? I can't advertise during the big game, but that local spot, I'm going to spend $30,000 this year. I'm going to blow my advertising budget. There's that 1125, the 1128 spot or the 1028 spot during Minute Maid is available. It's $30,000 for a 30-second ad. I'm gonna shoot a quick commercial. I'm gonna pay the $30,000. I'm gonna get my commercial on during this national show in the local area, because every program has it's like 2 minutes for national commercials for like Hardee's and Tide Pods, and then you have like that 45 seconds for a local commercial. So he might be like, you know what? It's $30,000, but it's Super Bowl. There's going to be extra people watching. I'm going to spend $30,000. Well, he expects that ad to go on air at 10:28. Well, the game went long. The game didn't get over until 11:45. So his commercial is now pushed back into that an even later window. And his commercial and now, instead of having 10 million extra eyes, let's say a local guy, he might not have 10 million eyes, but let's say a million eyes. Let's say he's in Indianapolis. And the local ratings for Indianapolis was 14 million. Well, most people tuned out, but about 7 million in the Indianapolis area stayed on to check out this new show about maids in New York City. Well, he's expecting to get 7 million extra eyes watching, and I don't think there's 7 million people in the greater Indianapolis area. But I'm looking with numbers I'm making up off the top of my head, so forgive me.
Certainly.
But
Certainly.
I got something that I want.
Real quick, but the average cost for a 30-second commercial during the Super Bowl is $7 to $8 million. So, yeah. Just look that up. So
obviously,
exactly, Luke.
So obviously, Bob's used cars and hot dog stand isn't going to be able to, Bob's Used Cars of Ann Arbor isn't, and hot dog stand isn't going to be able to afford $7 to $8 million during the Super Bowl, but he might be able to swing $30,000. So Bob's Used Cars and Hot Dog Stand of Ann Arbor, he gets, he's got the greater Ann Arbor area, and that's Flint and Detroit and Ishpeming and Ypsilanti and all that, and there might be, 10 million people in the area, and 8 million of them might tune in for the game, and 3 million of them might stay to watch Minute Maids of New York City. And so he's banking on 3.5 million people seeing his ad, and if he can get 1% of that to come into his store, even if he can if he can turn that 3.5 million into 1% of customers, that's 300,000 people. If he turns 1% of that into sales, that's 30,000 extra sales he does in a year. So he, and in the used car, if he turns over 30,000 extra cars, that's a lot of money. So a $30,000 spot may seem like a lot of money in the initial off, but he can go to his loaners, his creditors, and say, hey, this is how much the ad's going to cost. This is how much I expect to make off the ad. This is how much I need to borrow. I need to borrow $15,000. I expect to be able to generate X amount of revenue based upon the potential customers that I can generate with this ad. And now, if the game goes long, Bob's Used Cars may not benefit as much as he expected from the ad.
Right.
And now we've gone way too deep into the advertising side of sports broadcasting.
Yes, we have.
Hey, what about hot dog stand? No.
But I got one for you. To totally change the subject. So I was watching I don't know if you've ever seen I know you're on TikTok, Brad, you are, Alex. I don't think, Lou, you're not on TikTok, are you, buddy?
No.
Have you seen the helmet guy on TikTok?
Yes.
See it, yeah.
Okay, so he's the head broadcaster for Eastern Michigan, and he's
Okay.
got this great big collection of helmets. And he had a helmet. He had Earl Morrall's helmet from Super Bowl V.
Oh,
Not the point, just backstory. And so, but it made me think of Super Bowl because but Super Bowl IV. Oh, he had a Chiefs helmet. That's what it was. He had a Chiefs helmet signed by um help me here, that the most famous Chiefs coach before Andy Reid.
Hank Stram.
Thank you, Nick Strand. And it made me
oh,
think of Super Bowl IV, which I argue is just as important, if not more important, than Super Bowl III. And I wanted to get your guys' take on it. I'll lay out my reasoning, and I'll let you guys have a crack at it and get your opinions on it. So for me, Super Bowl III is great. Super Bowl III is important because of
yeah.
the guarantee. It was the AFL winning the championship.
Mm-hmm.
It set a precedent that those boys could hang with the NFL. Now,
They did.
flash forward a year, and Kansas City is playing. I forget who was Super Bowl.
Minnesota.
I want to say it was Minnesota.
I could be wrong too. You talk about Super Bowl IV, bud?
Yes.
1970. It's the Chiefs.
I was not alive yet.
It
Either
was
was I.
Chiefs. You were right. It was Chiefs. It was
Yep.
Chiefs Vikings.
Okay.
Now,
There it is.
this is where we'll have to take a step into the alternate into an alternate football reality.
Yes.
Now, if the Chiefs don't win that Super Bowl, I think that people look at Super Bowl III as a fluke, as luck. And
Yes.
I think the AFL-NFL merger falls apart because if the Chiefs don't back up what the Jets did, everybody goes, well, that was cute, but you boys can't play with the NFL. You can't play real football. And the Chiefs had to win Super Bowl IV to preserve the AFL-NFL merger.
And that shut them up for good.
It really did. So now I'll open the floor to you gentlemen, and I'll get your thoughts and comments.
Yeah, because I mean, Super Bowl III, I think, was supposed to be like a turning point. I mean, I wasn't born yet, but I heard about it. And
I don't think any of us were born yet.
I was just in the process of being created, almost.
So was I.
Yeah. Well, I was
Are
born
you
the year
that
the
old?
sequel.
26 years old, almost 27.
Okay, you're not. You're
Your parents.
not almost.
Your parents may have
No.
been.
Yeah.
That time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
parents
My
were
dad-
probably around. I was
I'll be
not.
56 in March. Ugh.
56 in March. Okay, I couldn't remember exactly how old you were, Lou.
Thank
I couldn't
God.
remember if you were old enough to remember Super Bowl III or not.
No, before I was 2 months away from being born. But I think if the Jets hadn't done, everyone would just laughed at the AFL like, yeah, you guys are just amateurs. You don't stand a chance to stack up against the
No.
NFL. Period. So
Yeah,
screw you. This is our league. Forget it. But then
the
1970 came around. And
NFL had to beat the NFL in back-to-back years because if they
Right.
didn't, and this is my contention, if they didn't win Super Bowls III and IV, if the Colts and Vikings had steamrolled or even just beat them, the NFL the AFL would have been thought as well, you guys are okay at football, but you're not real football players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like a UFL. Oh. Okay.
And it would have
Or
been
the
it would have been a-
Yes,
XFL.
exactly.
it would have been an interesting story. It would have been a footnote in football, and the whole merger probably falls apart because the Jets, name guarantee and winning Super Bowl IV, or Super Bowl III, and being competitive in that game and beating the AFL and the NFL champion Colts. I think that the Chiefs beating the Vikings was just as important, if not more important, for what would become what we know
Yes.
as the NFL today.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen once. Like, okay, it happened once. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen again. Well, surprise, we did it again. Like, okay, we'll back off.
Okay,
You
let's
gotta
go to
wait.
the
You
floor.
gotta
The
do
boys
it.
are legit. it legitimizes the AFL and creates the AFL, the NFL, the AFL NFL merger. It helps pave it solidifies what was already in the works.
Yes.
No, I agree. Like you said, if Namath calling saying we are going to beat the Colts, and Don Shula and them going, who? What do you think you're doing, boy?
Yeah.
You don't belong here. You're not going to beat us.
Oh yeah.
We got Johnny Yu and a bunch of future Hall of Famers, and they did win. And then Hank Strom, who, if you remember too, was coaching in Super Bowl I against the Packers, and they lost. That was kind of the way, if you look at that too. If Green Bay wins the first two Super Bowls, then you have the Jets, then the Chiefs. Then I think Super Bowl V was won by the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong about that. But it was. You're right. I think if Minnesota had won, which again they are just like the Buffalo Bills, been to 4, can't win one. Yeah. They're the only 2 teams in NFL history that have been to 4. Oh, speaking of the NFL, I have a question to ask you guys. See if you can answer this correctly. But yeah, I agree with Adam. I think the merger would have fallen apart had Minnesota beat Kansas City in Super Bowl IV. No doubt.
What's your question?
My question is, who is the only active team in the NFL that has never appeared in a conference championship game?
Oh.
Never appeared in the first championship.
Never.
The Browns?
Browns.
No, the Browns have been in the AFC Championship before.
Houston.
Oh, once.
There you go. Houston. It's the Houston Texans. Houston Texans. You can't say the Oilers because the Oilers have, but it's the Houston Texans that are the only. I think they're 0-7 in the divisional round.
And it's Houston. It's Houston because it's the Texans because the Titans are because the Oilers are the Titans.
Yes.
That's right. I'm sorry. That's right.
And the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens are the Baltimore Ravens. Because that was part of the agreement was that when the Browns moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens, they had to leave their history in Cleveland. They were a new franchise that was put in Baltimore was not the Cleveland Browns. They did not move the Cleveland Browns from Cleveland to Baltimore. They created a new franchise in Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens are a new franchise. And the Cleveland Browns that are there now, like in the league in 99, are the continuation of...
Well, did you see, speaking of the Ravens, did you see who the Ravens hired as their new coach?
Yes. Just found out about an hour ago.
I don't know about it.
There's a kid I watch on YouTube that is not happy. He's a fan. He is not happy.
I don't know. It feels like cutting off your nose to spite your own face.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because I just don't know about getting rid of Harbaugh.
True.
It's like the Steelers getting rid of Tomlin.
Well, I think that was...
The writing was on the wall for that kind of...
I kind of feel like it was a... You can't fire me. I quit.
Or,
you can't fire me, I quit.
Or it was, you can't fire me, I'm going to walk out and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can't fire me, I quit. But we talked about that last week with Tomlin. After doing it being in football for 40 years, I can imagine him being tired.
Yeah.
Well, he did say he still wants to coach.
Yeah, but that's what they all say. You can want in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up faster. Oh, he might want to still coach, but does somebody want him to coach next year? or in the future, in a year
No.
in 2 years.
I don't think it would be this year because I
No.
don't think there's that many more head coach openings unless he wants to be a coordinator somewhere.
Right. And
Like the
I don't
Titans
know,
already
because
hired the
Robert Saleh.
Titans hired Sala, and it sounds like Dable's going to be the offensive coordinator, which is interesting. If Dable doesn't get the head coaching job with the Bills,
I was gonna say, I think I heard that was the rumor that I heard that he was favored to get the Bills job.
and everybody's like, "Oh, if the Chiefs get McDaniel, no, the Lions. If the Lions get McDaniel, it's over for everybody." Well, McDaniel ended up with the
Chargers.
Chargers,
Chargers.
interesting.
which I think is even scarier than him ending up in Kansas City or Detroit.
No,
What
I heard.
Kansas City brought back
Is
Bieniemy.
that
Bieniemy.
official? Is that official?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but if it's
I heard they were talking to him.
let me see, Eric Bieniemy.
So we're not going to have the Kansas City where it's just screen passes and every other play a pass to Travis Kelce.
At this time, it's not official,
Oh, it's not.
but it is that he has could be returning to his role as the OC in Kansas City. So yeah, because it looks like Zach Robinson went from Atlanta to Tampa Bay as their OC. Mike McDaniel is going to the Chargers.
Can you look and see who else Zach Robinson brought with him to Tampa?
Sure. Let me see.
Because I think he brought one other coach along with him to Tampa.
So it's as of 7:30 Wednesday night. It was reported that they have agreed to terms, but those terms haven't been officially announced.
For who?
But Bieniemy, he
Eric.
is headed back to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Yeah.
We had 1 year without Kansas City in the playoffs, and they're probably going to be back in the playoffs next year.
I don't know. I think it might be a downward trend here.
You've got work to do.
Do I turn the Magic game off? They're down 97-64 to Charlotte.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Oh, make it 97-67.
Pistons stay hot.
Unfortunately, yes.
We're chasing the Pistons right now.
Isn't Detroit the top team in the East?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and everybody behind them is struggling, including the Magic.
And the top team in the West is OKC, right? The defending champs?
Yeah, no surprise. Did you see when Wembanyama shaved his hair?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, look up a picture of Wembanyama.
With the Spurs?
Yeah, him and I think it might have been Keldon Johnson. They both shaved their hair. Because I remember watching highlights a couple weeks ago. I'm like, what happened to all of Wembanyama's hair?
Yeah.
Because they showed him and he's bald now.
Can you imagine Kyle Pitts going to Tampa Bay?
Oh, Lord. Would we actually use him? Unlike
Zach Robinson,
Atlanta.
Zach Robinson, you would.
Or do we just draft a tight end?
I think that's the route they're going to go. Yeah.
Eli Stowers, Max Clare, the kid from Stowers is the only good tight end. Oh, the kid for Sadiq from Oregon.
Well, the Bucks pick 14th, right? I think
15.
15th.
And I've already seen mock drafts that have the Chiefs taking Jeremiah Love. Like, why do they need another weapon?
Because everybody kept getting hurt.
Exactly.
Well, and they said the one reason they need running back is because the running backs they have are inconsistent. Pacheco,
Mm-hmm.
they brought
Well,
back CEH.
I don't know about the Chiefs and their. I don't know how much it was their that they the players were inconsistent, and how much was the offense was inconsistent with play calling. I would
And the
not,
offensive line.
and I don't care how I don't care. You can have you could have prime. You can have a backfield that
Of
they consist of prime Gale Sayers, prime um
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning wasn't a running back, a prime Emmett Smith, and a prime Barry Sanders. And if
Yes.
you've got five nobodies in front of them, they'll be lucky to gain a yard a carry. So I would take lesser running backs and have give me a great offensive line with lesser running backs that I can
Yeah.
scheme. I can scheme them to get yeah, yeah, they may not have home run speed, but if I don't need a great back. If I have a great offensive line, I can take average running backs. Obviously,
Yeah.
an average
Well,
NFL running back is way
my
better. Is a
yeah.
way better player than a an average dude. But an average NFL running back, a guy that averages 3.5 to 5 yards a carry on a consistent on 18 to 25 carries, that can catch out of the backfield and can do a little bit of pass blocking in third and long, over some guy who's this all-star superstar running back. I would much rather pair up an average running back
Mhm.
with a great offensive line than a great running back with an average offensive line. Give me
Yeah.
a great running back, give me a great offensive line that can do everything and so I can just forget about it. Let the O-line coach just do his thing, and I can scheme holes.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing I was gonna say is people are trying to say, "Oh, the Chiefs are gonna be so bad to where they're gonna have a top 5 pick next year and get Jeremiah Smith." I'm like, that's impossible. There's zero chance they
Yeah.
go 3-13, 2-14, and get a top 5 pick.
Uh-huh.
So we were just saying to turn the Magic game off. Fourth quarter
Yeah.
started, and they've
Yeah.
hit 2 3-pointers already and forced 3 turnovers.
Not good.
They're making a comeback. I mean, I'm going to leave it on for a little bit just to see if they make a comeback. After we get off, I'm probably going to put it on Impact
Okay.
because they had an interesting debut episode the other night. Sonya Deville is now in TNA.
She
Okay.
she bullied she bullied
She bullied
She
Santino.
bullied Santino pretty badly. I saw when she came out. She bullied him pretty badly. Yeah.
He's still messing up names.
And correct me if I'm wrong, there's a triple threat for the world championship.
Oh.
Yep. Mike Santana, Frankie Kazarian,
And Nick Nemeth.
yep. AKA also known as Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
Well, and Nick Nemeth, they had a match at TNA Genesis. It was Kazarian and Mike Santana, and for the TNA World Championship in a Texas Death Match.
Mm-hmm.
No disqualification Texas Death Match, and Mike Santana won. And Nick Nemeth went to try to cash in his Call Your Shot trophy.
Yeah.
And he got ran off, but Mike Santana had a spin the block on him and knocked him down.
Yeah.
And I guess the Rascals aren't in TNA anymore. They're in AEW now. Desmond Xavier, Myron Reed, and Zachary Wentz. I guess Trey Miguel got released from his AEW contract before even making his debut. Because they pulled up some comments he made from when he was in WWE about AEW. New trios champions, though, in AEW. And Brad, I think you'll like it. Hangman, Adam Page, and Jet Speed.
Interesting.
Yep. Because Powerhouse Hobbs was one half of the trios champ. Powerhouse Hobbs was one half of the trios champs, and he's with WWE now.
Yes.
And so they lost the trios champions to Hangman on a Page and Jet Speed. And then I was talking to Brad the other night about MJF.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And how Brody King came out and wanted to challenge him for the AEW Men's World Title. And MJF basically said, sorry, no.
Okay.
MJF's a little baby.
Yeah.
He's scared.
I can't stand him. He's not funny. First off.
No, and he thinks he's better than everybody.
And which is
Big show off.
if it's done right, it can be really good.
Yes.
But I hate that character.
He's just he
Because
reuses the same lines in his promos. Every promo. He never changes it up.
Like I think Ethan Page does that character, that style character, the arrogant, over the top, bombastic, better than everyone.
Oh
thinks
yeah,
his
yeah.
kids don't stink mentality. That
and Ethan Page just defended his title the other night on NXT against Elio LaFleur.
And I think
Ethan Page is gonna do so good on the main roster.
I can't wait for him to get the call up.
I can't either. Him.
As long as they bring up Ethan Page.
Oh, they will.
If they try to change his character, they'll ruin him.
Yes.
I think they'll pair him with.
Sandwiches.
You know what? You know who I think they should bring him up with?
Chelsea Green.
The Miz.
Oh God.
Okay.
The Miz is the biggest. The Miz is the biggest whiner and complainer ever. I'm so glad Randy Orton beat him. Did you see was it El Grande Americano? He was in AAA over the weekend last weekend. Had a match with somebody in was it no he had a match with Dr. Wagner and he beat Dr. Wagner and Omos, who we have not seen in WWE because he's apparently under contract in AAA now.
Yep.
El Grande Mercado tried to it was an idiot and tried to chop down Omos. And Omos just stuck his hand up and just grabbed him by the neck and just flung him halfway across the ring. Like, that's somebody WWE failed. Big time.
Yes.
He'll be back.
Omos could have been the next good Giant.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
At some point. So do we think Do we
I
think
don't.
Gunther's retiring AJ Styles at the Rumble?
I hope not. I don't think so.
I got another question. Who called Adam Pierce? The rumors on the line are it was The Rock.
Yeah.
Do we buy that?
There was nobody on the other end of that call.
Are you positive?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I'm just making a joke. Yeah. No. Oh yeah. No. Of course. Yep. Yep.
Well,
One
because
second.
Paul
Yep.
Heyman said
One.
you
One.
made the biggest mistake of your life.
Oh God.
Mhm.
It's of course. It's the show, my guy. It's the
Yes, I
show.
know it is.
I don't know how to.
What?
I don't know how to explain it. That
Here's
it's like
my thing. What do we
when
think is
you.
going to happen on Monday? Because Braun Breaker and Adam Pierce are going to be in the same
Well,
building at the same time, and they're going to be face to face.
Braun Breaker was on Raw this week.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He
No,
was
he
No.
wasn't.
suspended.
Yes, he was. He was on Raw.
Are you sure? He was
Because
suspended.
I commented, so much for suspended, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. That's weird because I didn't see him and I watched Raw.
Because they were in Ireland. No, they were in Berlin.
Belfast.
Right.
They were in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting one. What got into Natalya?
Nutella?
Yeah. Maybe.
Because she attacked Maxime Dupree, who she was helping train.
She's working with her, isn't she?
She was until
Me.
Maxime had her match with Becky on Monday, and she helped Becky win, and then attacked Maxime after the match, like brutally attacked her. And everybody said, "Oh, she's gonna go back to this gimmick she had on the Indies, where she was the low key goat, Natalya." She's not the goat.
No.
That's John Cena.
I would say for female wrestlers, probably be Trish Stratus or Alita before I would say anybody in that case.
I would say, yeah, of course, Lita, Trish Stratus, Michelle McCool, Beth Phoenix,
China,
yeah.
I think China is probably the most important female wrestler of all time, because China proved that girls could wrestle with boys. China, I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but I always felt super uncomfortable watching girls wrestle in the mid to late 2000s, because it never felt like they were treated like wrestlers. They were just eye candy for the vapid 13 to 25-year-old boys that watched wrestling. And I always hated that.
And then back then you had John Cena, who any chance he got, he would pick on Lita or Trish Stratus.
And I was speaking more I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about them in their actual wrestling. They didn't wrestle like it was was it Fit Finlay?
Yes.
It was Fit Finlay. When he came along, he revolutionized female wrestling and turned them into actual wrestlers, and not just pretty girls who flopped around in the ring, which I always hated that. I hated that they treated the female wrestlers as second-class citizens in wrestling. I always thought that they could. I always hated that, because I felt like they were being so super disrespectful to women in wrestling. I felt like that girl wrestlers could be just as good as any boy, as long as they wrestled girls. And then again, the other thing is like it's scripted. It's not real. It's like a comic book. Who wins is whoever the writers want to win. So
Yeah.
I always felt like I appreciate as the WWE grew up and female wrestling grew into what it's become now, where it's about the wrestling and not just about titillation. Uh,
Yeah.
Yes.
I far more enjoy this version of female wrestlers than anything in the past.
Yeah. So what do we think of the dynamic between Lyra Valkyria and Bailey? And these three, what do you want to call it? Three faces of Bailey?
I was
The
gonna say,
hugger,
can you trust Bailey?
the hugger Bailey, role model,
Yeah.
eh,
Be going.
and the whatever you want to call this, the demented Bailey.
Dead.
Can we trust Bailey? And then the other thing is, I've heard rumors that she may jump ship to AEW
Hmm.
because people feel like she's not being booked and placed in the right position.
Yeah,
That could be true. She could be the next WWE superstar.
Problem is, AEW has too many good women's wrestlers. Like, for example, look at like Tony Storm, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Marita Shafir,
Mm-hmm.
Tekla, Julia Hart. Look at all them. And there's some girls, Harley Cameron, who when she first started wrestling in AEW, I'm like, I gotta change the channel.
Yeah.
And I've come kind of full circle. I've come around to when she's on. And it's the same way with some of the male wrestlers in AEW.
yeah.
Like anybody in Don Callis family. I cannot sit and watch a full match because Don Callis is going to be on commentary. And Brad, you could probably back me up. Don Callis is one of the most annoying people to listen to.
Yeah.
I think a
Yes.
few guys like that.
Oh, he's pitiful to listen to. He's as Roman Reigns would say, he's a suffering succotash.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sylvester.
To use a quote that Roman used when he was the big dog and everybody just hated him
Yeah.
because they were trying to make him the next face of the company and just shove it down our throats. But yeah, that's what I kind of feel like with like the Don Callis family, and it's annoying. And then I don't know what Brad, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, the whole Jon Moxley thing. It seems like they've dropped him going away from the Death Riders and just like
Keeping him in the
behind
group.
the scenes turn the Death Riders face in a way, which is weird.
I was gonna say I can't imagine that group being faces. Like good guys, come on now. They've been bad guys for so long, and they fit that.
It's like,
heel role
and
so
then
well.
people are trying to say, "Oh, Swerve's going to turn heel, and he's going to turn on Prince Nana because he's changed his music, and he wants the world title back."
Mm.
I
wouldn't mind seeing Swerve as a heel and having that world title around his waist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long as anybody but MJF has the title, I'm fine.
Do have to issue a correction. I was wrong. You were right. I got fooled by an old clip.
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker was not on Raw. I got fooled by an old clip.
Okay.
I kind of figured he wasn't, but I know he's going to be there next week. Should be interesting.
No, great storytelling, man. I love it.
It is. And
Yeah.
you know what else I love? I loved the main event. Punk and Balor
I think
I think this is the start of Finn's
this is
his
Finn
singles
should have
run.
won. Finn should have won the belt.
I think he's gonna win it at some point this year.
I
I think
think
they're doing the same thing they did with was it Jay before he won the world title, where he was getting really close. He kept losing, and then he finally won at WrestleMania. No, I've heard they still want to do Cody Roman 3, and they want Roman to win the title off of Drew.
you know what? It'll be the first time I've ever rooted for Roman Reigns.
Okay.
Well, I hate Drew McIntyre way more than I ever hated Roman Reigns.
Oh, I can't stand Drew and his.
He's
I
another.
love his. I love the segment they had on SmackDown last week, where he was out there gloating about his title win. Randy came out and tried to talk some sense into him. And then next thing you know, Jacob comes out and goes, and Randy doesn't move a muscle. He's standing in the corner, grinning like just, you know, when Randy knows he's done something wrong. He gets that that heelish, venomous smile. He was standing in the corner smiling like that when Jacob went after Drew. And I'm like, oh, I think we found a culprit who attacked Jacob. Because it's as far as we know right now, it's not Drew. It's not Cody. It's so that leaves one person. We from what we can see from the story they're trying to tell us. Because you wouldn't think it'd be Sammy because he never had issues with Jacob. We obviously know it's not Jimmy because Jimmy hasn't been with Jay on Raw.
Right.
So that leaves a guy that we know we shouldn't trust because he's a Viper. He's an apex predator. Ask Edge and Christian what happens when you trust him.
That's Matt Riddle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ask Matt Riddle. I mean, ask anybody that's trusted Randy Orton. Yeah. Evolution.
I was going to say, he turned on that. Well, he wasn't the only one that turned on Evolution. Batista did the same thing. So,
and Batista quit.
Yep, he did. He's not.
Yep,
he's
you can never trust the Viper.
No.
Of course.
But you can never trust Jacob either. Jacob's a unhinged werewolf.
A werewolf.
Yep.
Yes, but the question is he a werewolf in London?
No.
Movie.
Good song.
Great song.
It is a great song. Who takes the IC title off of Dom? Is it going to be Finn?
Speaking of Finn, I liked the old school music and entrance.
I did too.
Him coming out to the Bauer Club with the logo and him doing his thing. That was cool to see him do that.
I noticed how after he embraced CM Punk and they hugged, he looked up at the ramp as if to say, "Where's?" I think they're plants, and I know we've said this before. I think they're starting to plant the seeds for a Judgment Day for Finn.
Yeah.
Fading his way out of the Judgment Day, and maybe JD, because I wouldn't mind seeing JD go on a singles run either. And you just have Dom, Raquel, Dom, Raquel, and Liv.
Mm.
All right.
You.
Yeah. Should know. I
Where
should
did
have
they
known.
bring you back to?
Where did
Where
that
did that bring you back? Back to me.
where did that bring you?
Uh
I saw that. I saw that clip on YouTube today when everyone counted the Patriots out in 2018 against the Chiefs. The Patriots were up 14-0 at the half. The Chiefs scored 34 points in the second half and lost the game in overtime to Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that and
Oh,
yeah,
126.94.
I
123.94.
I'm pulling for New England to win this weekend and then play Seattle in the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
I
they
want to
should
see
win.
Denver win, but I think it's going to be New England.
New England should win going away.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. Is New England wins going away. I just, I unless John Elway has some magic in his head and come down out of the stands and give it one more go. Ben DiNucci
Well,
isn't gonna.
at least give Jared Stidham a little bit of a chance.
Yeah, where didn't New England gave him a chance?
Not really.
Yes, really. They gave him a chance. Didn't work. Then he went to Oakland
Raiders.
and they
Yep.
gave him a chance and it didn't work. He couldn't make it in the big time.
Yeah.
He
Well, but
wasn't.
the thing with the Raiders is the Raiders are terrible.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
have a
if
new quarterback.
if you can't play on a bad team, you can't play. If you can't make it,
How about we talk about Ben DiNucci,
Uh-huh.
the guy that's the backup behind Stidham, out of the NFL, was at a dodgeball league, played in the XFL, played in the UFL, back in the NFL now. Might have a chance at a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
uh,
Ben DiNucci.
is
And
that game's in Denver, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
What's the weather supposed to be like? Cold as shit, but dry.
yeah. Same here.
Unlike here, we're
Well,
supposed to get snow here.
That should moved out by Saturday, late Saturday. By Sunday, it'll be clear and cold. They're not predicting light snow, very cold. High at 22, 20% chance of snow flurries, 16 at kickoff, dropping down to 12 for the overnight low, with a chance of flurries for the first couple of hours of the game.
What's the temperature going to be in Tennessee on Sunday?
The temperature here on Sunday. It will on Sunday. It's going to be the high of 43, low of 16.
Yeah. Lucky you.
You ready for this? That's your high? The high where I'm at? How about high is 77, low is 60?
Lucky.
I'll take
I
it.
don't want to hear it.
Lucky.
I'm going to be in warm weather, but my ex-boss, my former boss, stopped by today. He was in the Panhandle where it was snowing last weekend. So got to see
Which we're supposed to be getting snow starting on Saturday,
Friday night.
Friday night.
Supposed to get on Sunday
Supposed to
morning.
be
And this
heavy.
is supposed to be a really bad snowstorm where we're supposed to supposedly lose power.
We're supposed to get 1 to 3 to 469 inches, 420, 69 inches.
Yeah.
But they do this every year. You'll learn that next year, right around this time, we'll be getting the storm of the century again.
Right.
Well, I wasn't around for the storm of '93.
Right.
I was.
But they predict the storm of the century right around this time every year, and we get 1 to 3 inches, close everything down for a day, and then we go about, and then we get back to work on Sunday or the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other game is in Seattle.
Yes.
The Rams and Seahawks.
Round 3.
Yep.
It's gonna be nice in Seattle.
For a change.
It'll be decent in Seattle. 40.
Magic lost 124-97.
Yeah.
To Charlotte.
Yep, to the Hornets.
The Hornets.
Yep, at
Well,
least I have the
Dallas-
Lightning game to look forward to tomorrow. They play Chicago.
I'll be at Monday's game against Utah.
We kick off we drop with the Wild here in about 6 minutes.
And
Okay.
we will try again with the draft show. Actually, the very next day, I actually have to get up early in the morning to go fly to New Orleans. So I may only do up to a certain number, and then I might get off.
Okay,
I
yeah, that's fine. If you ever just want to cancel it for whatever reason, just let us know. Well,
I gotta be at the airport at like 4:30 in the morning the next morning. So we'll see. Because I know last year we had the issue with Alex talking over everybody. We couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We might just do this year. If you have to cut out early, we might just do the first 10.
USF men's basketball won, by the way, Bradley.
Okay, good.
82-69 over UAB.
Nice.
So I applied for credentials for the last home game, and I just got word that I got them.
Nice.
It'll be the first time I've ever covered a basketball game as a media member. Never gone as a media member before. So I'm gonna go March 7th, I think is the March 8th,
cool.
whatever that first Sunday. Wherever we change, it's March 8th. We change the clocks back. We forward the clocks. It's the daylight savings time starts for 10s or whatever the hell that
basketball
means.
Finally won another game. 4-16.
But
that was a sarcastic.
Yeah, do you guys want to just skip the draft show this year? I mean,
if we need to, we could do like the first 10. We
do the first 10 picks
for the first 10 and hop off, or I can run the show and you can if you could give me hosting, you could give me host and whenever you need to get off, and then I can shut it down whenever we're done.
Cool. I'll see my computer on, and then I get up in the morning. I'll shut it off, or you can end the show and then just let me know when you're done, and I'll post it to the website the next day.
Yeah, we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. That's
3 months away.
Way off, way off in the future. So
yeah, let's get to the rest of the winter first. If we survive
that. Well, and then of course within the next 2 weeks we have pitchers and catchers reporting for spring training. So baseball is right around the corner from starting up.
We're just thinking about baseball. We're freezing to death.
Well, actually, I just heard today that the Rays got approved for their agreement with Hillsborough Community College, which means they're either going to give some of the land for the stadium, or the Rays are gonna take that land over and build HCC somewhere else. So they need to get the deal done because, again, as we were talking earlier, there's going to be a strike. So there's not going to be any revenue at all for these small market teams. You want to get that stadium deal done this year before the strike happens so you can build it while the strike's going on. So we'll see.
Do you really think it's guaranteed that they're going to strike in 2027?
It's all but guaranteed.
I think it's all but guaranteed, Luke. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless things change this year, I mean, who knows? We could all be wrong. And in 11 months from now, there is no strike. So
yeah, obviously they could work through the remainder of the offseason in the summer, through this year to get a deal done.
Well, that's the
But
first thing I gotta do.
I just don't see it. I just think that the players in the I think the players and the I think the players
Owners.
and the owners
At least,
are too far apart.
Yeah.
yeah.
Who's your
Probably say
team, Lou? Are you
Yankees.
Yankees.
Yankees?
Don't say Mets. Don't say Mets.
Red Sox?
Yankees
Ah,
win too.
Definitely.
I'm vomiting right now. You mean the Dead Sox?
Or how about the Phillies?
Yeah, you can take or leave.
I don't know. Again, like I said, baseball is such a long season. Obviously,
Yes.
I stand by what I said earlier. I don't know if there's a team that's built to beat the Dodgers yet. Obviously, baseball's an incredibly long season. There are a
Yes.
lot of things that can happen.
I
We've
would
seen it
say the Mets maybe are gearing up to maybe beat the Dodgers.
Well,
And
you're
then,
both set.
I go back to what Lou was saying. Yeah, it is hard to three-peat. It's hard to three-peat in any sport. It's hard to three-peat. It's hard to three-peat on Madden with everything turned
Yeah.
down as low as possible. Um,
It's hard to three-peat on college football.
yeah,
26.
with everything, with all the sliders turned down and your sliders turned all the way up. But
Right.
I just don't see a team in the league that has put together a squad that is capable of beating the Dodgers head up. If
Now, and
You're both set with the Mets.
so
now?
would you say the National League's probably the Dodgers? Is
Yeah.
the American League more wide open than the National League?
Yes.
I think it's a race for second place. I think the Dodgers are clearly head and shoulders above everyone else. They are the Goliath to the league's David. I think they are the giant that everyone is trying to slay. But the rest
Or
of the
dragon.
league, I think the rest of the league is very competitive. I don't think there's a clear number two
No,
right
what
now.
I'm saying is, do you think in terms of the teams in the American League, is it more playoff wise? Is it more wide open, even though we haven't played any games?
I think the only for sure thing right now is the Dodgers. Everything else is super wide open.
Yeah.
So, like 2 through 6
Two through
in the NL
Yeah.
is up for grabs.
I
One
think
through
Yeah. I think
one
the other
in the
it's seven.
American League, you could say maybe the only issue is maybe whoever wins the American League Central,
Yeah.
whether it be the Tigers, the Guardians. American League East is always a bloodbath
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. Okay.
between
Yeah,
the
I think-
Yankees, the Rays,
I
the Red
think-
Sox, the
I
Blue
think the Dodgers
Jays.
are clearly far and away the number one team in baseball in
Yes.
January. In January,
I would
in
agree, and they
hypotheticals-
can go out and get anybody they want.
or need in July. I think the
Exactly
Dodgers are
with their farm
But-
system.
But the other 13 spots, I think, are wide open. I think there are probably 18 teams that are battling for 13 spots.
Yeah,
And I think what you'll see going into the year, and again, baseball is a 2-season race. It's a 2-season race.
Yes.
You have to be able to compete from. I think the teams that end up winning are the teams that have the better second half. You have a really good first half, but if you fall apart in the second half, you struggle to find your mojo and get back to where you were in the first half. So, but again, it's why we play the games. It's why we watch. It's why we watch. Is because
Right.
in hypotheticals, everyone is undefeated and nobody has any losses. In hypotheticals, everyone's a Hall of Famer and nobody has any losses.
yeah.
I agree with
Very
that.
true.
The hype, the the and baseball is such a fickle thing.
Yeah.
The Dodgers could sweep the first 3 rounds and be off to the World Series by
They
early October.
could,
By early
depending on who
October,
they play.
by early
Yeah.
October, they could be sitting on the shelf for a week and a half, have 10 days of rest, and go into the World Series and just get absolutely shelled against an American League team.
Yeah.
Or they
I
could
mean, the
have to,
Blue Jays gave them a good series this year.
or they could miss the playoffs entirely.
We would all love that.
Yeah.
No Dodgers in the
Or
playoffs.
the MLB could decide to just award everyone a 30th of the World Series and just not play any games. Everybody's a winner.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
And then technically, in hindsight, the Rays would have their first World Series.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, they'd have their first 30th of a World Series.
Right.
I think the Rays will win a World Series within the next 10 years.
Really.
Yes.
I think the fans that come in the games though. 'cause they
I
don't really do
think
anybody.
when they played the Dodgers, they got robbed.
I think you're right. But the thing is, they
Yeah.
can't seem to
And
get
I
any
think
fans
Brad
who
would
do
agree
well.
with that. Would you, Brad?
Yeah, I
That they
think
got
they
robbed
stopped it.
against the Dodgers?
Yeah,
I think they got robbed in 2008 against the Phillies when they stopped the game and
Oh,
then restarted the game the next day because they
I
had the
think they
momentum
had.
against Philadelphia, and they stopped the game because of cold weather and restarted the game, and the Phillies ended up winning that game, and that was the turning point for them.
they got screwed.
With the Dodgers, yeah, well, the thing, I agree. When it comes to LA, he's right. You can end. I mean, I always think back to the World Series between Houston and Washington. We came into that series
Right.
thinking Houston was going to wipe the floor with them, and in 5 games or 6 games, Washington won and took the World
Yep.
Series away from Houston. So there are times where you have teams that are dominant like that, but then you get to the World Series, and again, and same thing when in hockey, that fourth victory is always the hardest one to get. First 3 are
Yep.
easy. That fourth one, that last one, is the hardest one to get, and it's the same way in hockey. That's why when it comes to basketball, baseball, and hockey, Game 7s are so exciting because it's a do or die. You go down 3-0, you come back, you win 3 straight games, and now you have a Game 7. Now everything's equal again. So now there's more. The pressure is now on both sides of the coin.
But then they draw some
Right.
fans. Even when the Rays do well, they still can't draw anybody.
Well, that's I guess
they're able to draw people.
Yeah,
They just run out of colored pencils before they can fill up the stadium.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
The hope is to build a new stadium, and that's supposed to draw the fans. So that's what they're hoping. So
Right. Well, the problem, the thing, hopefully they can get this new stadium in. It'll be a nice new barn with amenities and nightlife around the building, and they'll have a competitive team too to put in said building, because I think for the first 2 years it really won't matter if the Rays are good or bad. People will want to go see the new barn. They'll want to be there for opening day. They'll want to be there for the first game against the Whites or against the Red Sox, against the Yankees, against the Orioles, against the Blue Jays, against the East. They'll want to be there for the first games against the Dodgers, against the Mets, against
the Marlins.
The Marlins. Yeah. So there'll be series in there where they'll pack the barn out because they're marquee.
The Tigers.
I don't know so much about Detroit, but
Detroit
Atlanta
fans travel.
Atlanta. I'm trying to think of games where
Seattle
they must see baseball. games against the Red Sox, Yankees.
Yeah,
The first time they
yeah.
play the Yankees at the new stadium. The first time they play the Red Sox at the new stadium. The first time they played the Orioles and the Blue Jays in the new barn.
The Astros.
Probably the first time they play all 29 other MLB teams.
Mhm.
They'll fill it up.
Unless they decide to add a couple expansion teams.
Yeah.
Right, or the first 32 teams. And so, but then when what will be the real benchmark is if they can stay consistently good for 3 to 5 years after that introductory period. Can they continue? Can they build a winning team down there in Tampa that can continue to draw after the new wears off? After we've seen everybody once, we've seen the Yankees, we've seen the Red Sox, we've seen the Tigers, we've seen the Mets,
Yeah.
we've seen the Dodgers, we've seen Seattle, we've seen everybody at this new ballpark. Will the ballpark still be able to draw crowds in those when it's July 28th and it's the 8th game of a 12-game homestand and the beaches are hopping and everything, Orlando's down the road, Miami's down the road, Daytona's down the road, you've got all those other things to do in Florida that are within 3 to 5 hours that are more exciting than a random baseball game on a Tuesday night. Can they still draw enough people into the stadium to make it look like they actually have people that care about the baseball, or are they gonna regress to the mean and be an 81 ball club that can't fill up the stadium on a Monday night, or that's half full crowds on Friday, Saturday, Sunday that are empty. Still remains empty. Are you going to dump $700 million to $1 billion in improvements? And I think we talked about a couple of years ago, I think, when they first started this project, is that it can't. You're not just building a stadium. You're building infrastructure around the stadium. It's improving the roads. It's improving the landscape. It's improving the area where the stadium is built. It's creating traffic. Just because you built this brand new spanking stadium, if it's in a hotbed of crime or it's inaccessible to the average person,
Yeah.
aren't going to drive. Obviously they want to move it out of
St. Pete.
St. Pete. Thank you. They want to move it out of St. Pete. They want to get it back downtown or closer to downtown, move it closer to where everything is in a better part of town, in a place that they can build up around, where they can put in improvements in the infrastructure that isn't just the baseball stadium, where they can improve because I've been to Comerica and I've been to Tropicana, I've been to not Tropicana, sorry, Truist in Atlanta, and I've been to the Mud Hens ballpark there in
Toledo,
and I've been to a Frontier League game in Traverse. And the best ballpark for around the around the ballpark is Truist. Truist is amazing. The amenities that are open as soon as you get to the ballpark, the things that you can do, the places to go before you even go into the stadium, and the things that you can get as you're coming out of the stadium is incredible. The Comerica is the best place I've ever taken in a baseball game. Sightlines everywhere. You can see. I've sat out all the way out in left field, in front of the scoreboard. I've sat in down the first baseline, way the hell up there in the back, at like row 20, way up in the nosebleeds. Still excellent seats. I've sat on left,
terrace level.
Yeah, third deck terrace level, excellent seats. So Comerica Park is a great place to take in a ball game. Not that Truist is a bad place to take a ball game in, but I think Comerica is superior. Now those are the only two pro stadiums I've been in. Toledo was neat because it was a different experience. AAA ball is a little bit different than Major League Ball, and then Frontier League is like, and it's not unlike it's AA. Frontier League is a lot like, they have similar stadiums sizes to AA. So
yeah.
But again, you Ray as Rays fans, you guys should you got to come out and support the team even when the team sucks.
Yes.
You've got to make you guys and ownership has to make a concerted effort to make the team good.
I think the new group of owners, I think, is doing that. I think that's what they want to do.
Right.
Then again, I mean, it's too early to tell. We'll find out this season.
Oh, way too early to tell. Sure.
And again, the priority is getting the stadium done because there were so many of these promises during Sternberg's era that now, again, I do like the point, Bill, that you brought up the high crime rate because one of the stadium sites under Sternberg was Ybor City. Unless you grew up in Tampa, you don't know where Ybor is. Ybor is full of nightclubs. And
Yep.
at certain times of the night, you should not be outside the club because there's a lot of crime going on in that area. Where they're going to put the stadium now, the biggest problem is strip clubs because Dale Mabry's got a bunch of them. Leading to where HCC, where Raymond James is at, is there. They call it the Strip, and the reason that they call it the Strip is there's like 3 or 4 strip clubs down, but you don't have to go very far to go to the bars. There is a wing house within walking distance. There is bars on the north end of Dale Mabry as well. So it's going to be a lot better as far as entertainment. And I want to say, but too, I think I saw a plan that the Rays want to copy what the Braves did with the battery around the stadium. They want to do something similar to that here in Tampa because they know it works in Atlanta and it will work here too if they do it the right way. But again, it'll be a wait and see process because the lease is up, I think, as of either 2027 or 2028 at Tropicana Field. So if they don't get a stadium built till it opens in 2029, they're going to have to play somewhere until the new stadium opens in 3 years from now because they've waited too long to build a new stadium before the current lease on their at Tropicana Field expires. So either they can play in the Trop another year, say the 2028 season, because there may not be a 2027 season. So let's say 2028, they play that last season in that barn before they move to the new one in 2029. But they have to get shovels in the ground now for that to happen. You can't delay this half a year and then expect, we can do. No, it takes 2.5, 3.5 years to get a stadium built. And then especially here, think of all the times you're going to have rain in the summertime. Hurricanes come through here. So, yeah.
Translucent roof.
Yeah.
I like that open / closed roof.
In the ground too. For that to happen. So, but they're moving in the right direction to get the stadium built where HCC currently stands. We'll have to see when and how it happens. I just wrote an article about that. It'll be up on the website tomorrow about the stadium being built. So we will wait and see.
Remains to be seen, of course.
Yeah, and I think a lot of things have to happen. What do you think what's the biggest straw? What's the biggest domino that has to fall between now and December to get a new CBA?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A salary floor? That should be definitely that should be brought up in a new CBA. I think I would say a cap, but it has to be a soft cap. They will not agree on a hard cap. There's no way the players will agree to a hard cap. No way in hell.
No.
So It would have to be a soft cap. If they even agree on that, because I know the PA is like they they
They're
don't
against
agree
the
on a lot.
cap. That's the problem. They're against the cap. Period.
Yeah, well, they're the
Right?
only major league, major league sport that doesn't have a salary cap. So we'll see.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do it now?
Yep.
Do you think that do you think we get a cap of some kind? Is that the only way we get a season? Or do you think that the what do you think the owners how do you is it the owners that aren't gonna that do you think the owners give and agree to a continuation for another year and then and work on the
Possible.
CBA further? But and just go on go one more year with under the current rules and then hammer out a CBA in 28?
Well,
If the players will agree to that.
Or
they could.
do you think that is it the do you think the do you think the owners really want a salary cap?
Uh. Uh. No
I
way.
think the small market owners do. I don't know about the big market. The LAs, the New
No.
Yorks, the Bostons, the Phillies, they don't want one. But the small market teams like, the A's, the Rays, the Royals,
The
teams like that,
Marlins.
Marlins, yeah,
Yes.
though they want some kind of cap so that not every good player can be, signed by the Dodgers or the Mets.
Right.
So yeah.
What do we think the cap will look like? Are is it 350 million? Are we talking some astronomical figures here? Are we talking $500 million?
I think, Bud, if for the players to agree to a cap, it's got to be near the 500 million mark. It's
A
got to
lot.
be, and that's a lot. That is a lot as far as cap goes.
That is a suicide.
Because correct me if I'm wrong. Are we even anywhere even close to that in the NFL or NHL
No.
or NBA? Okay.
The NFL is what,
No.
192 now? 216, 215, 232?
Okay.
Oh,
So we're halfway in the NFL to the
I think so.
500 mil cap. Okay. Because hockey's not, is hockey 200 million?
No,
No,
not even
No.
I think it's
No.
105, 106.
Okay.
something like
What's
that.
the NBA, Lou? Do you know?
Uh,
What's the cap for the NBA?
offhand, I really don't know, but
Okay.
it's somewhere up there.
Nowhere even near 500 mil.
No.
Nowhere near. Okay. I would think it's got to be somewhere in the 250 to 300 million
Yeah, I
mark.
think somewhere like that, around 300 million.
Okay, so I've just found it. The salary cap in the NFL is 295,
Okay.
and going up to 311 next year, and then 327 in 2028.
Okay. So it's on the, okay.
Yeah,
So
really?
they're going to be jumping. Okay.
So do you think that's where the MLB is gonna have to be at, or right around there? 340, 350? Yeah, I think so.
I think so, bud.
If you're going
Yeah.
if you're going a hard cap, yeah, it's gotta be three. It's gonna have to be pushing 3.5 or
Yep.
350. If you go soft
But
cap,
do you think, bud, if they agree to a cap, there also has to be a floor so that certain teams can't underpay their players too?
Mm.
yeah,
Or defer
I
any of
don't
the
necessarily,
money.
I really don't. I think you could get away with just having a soft cap of 100 or a floor of 100 million
Okay.
instead of a minimum, a minimum salary, a base salary of $100 million.
Okay.
Because then you wouldn't be, and then yeah, I think that would be. I think both sides could come to the table and play with that. I think that's somewhere that they could look at least a temporary agreement, a 5-year agreement, to see how that deals. We do a hard floor of $100 million, a hard minimum of $100 million. Because If you active roster is 26, $100 million. That's so you're looking at $4 million per player.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing I want to look up real quick. Oops. Okay, I spelled it right. So obviously the number one team is LA at 411. And then the bottom of the league right now is Miami at 100 million. Then it's Tampa at 110, Chicago 111, Cleveland at 117, Pittsburgh at 133, Washington at 133, 2, Minnesota at 142, Colorado at 143, St. Louis at 143, 6, the Athletics at 144, the Brewers at 148, Cincy's at 150. Then we jump all the way up to Seattle at 18 at 195, 197 for the for the Royals. Baltimore's 198, Detroit's 200, the Angels are 205, Texas is 218, Arizona is 224, San Francisco is 226, Houston is 248, Chicago is 257, Atlanta is 266, San Diego is 268, Boston is 275, Toronto is 213, 312, New York is 324, Philly is 325, the Mets are 385, and then obviously the Dodgers number one at 411.
So if they agree to a 350 cap, and the Dodgers
Yeah.
are currently at 411, you're looking at 65 million coming off their payroll,
Yeah.
Or
they pay luxury taxes.
yeah, and they could do something like that.
Which weren't they complaining about that a few years ago, that the high market teams were complaining that they were paying too much into the
Yes.
luxury tax?
Yeah, they were.
So I'm sure
So
that'll be brought up too in the
Mhm.
CBA.
so there are only 10 teams paying luxury tax with a tax threshold of 244. See, and that could be what you could do is you could set the base salary at 244 and then
Mm-hmm.
set the salary cap at 418. And then everyone's current roster is okay. And then as the years go on, you could do a 5-year salary, you could do a 5-year CBA at 418 for 27, 425 for 29 or 28. Let's see. You do 418 for 27, 425 for 28, and 430 for 29. 435 for 30, and then 440 for 31, and see how that works out. But the 10 teams that are going to pay luxury tax next year, or whatever they're calling it, is Houston at 2.2 million, Chicago at 2.7, Atlanta at 4.9, San Diego at 7.9, Boston at 10.7, Toronto at 36.9, New York Yankees at 64.3, Philly is 65.4, New York is 131.2, and LA is 160.1. So if we So with everything last year with taxes and salary, the Mets pay or the Dodgers paid almost $600 million for everything.
Yes.
The Marlins paid $86 million. So You know, I don't know, man. You know,
Yeah,
that's why they get paid the big bucks, and I just pretend to know what I'm talking about.
right.
I'm in the same boat. Yep.
Yep.
You guys want to call it a show right there?
All right.
Yeah.
Lulu, go ahead, talk about your show before we get off.
All right. Enhanced Sports Show keeps on rolling. Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, that's Eastern Time. Number is 512-543-4662. We got a big show planned. We're going to preview the conference championship games, which is called Championship Sunday, of course. It's Sunday. Sorry. We'll recap the wild weekend of the divisional playoffs, and believe me, it's even more wild than the wild card round for sure. We'll recap the college championship game, which is another doozy. We'll also take a look at the All-Star stars for the NBA game, also again next month. You'd be surprised who's not on the list. Take care of that. Got some WNBA news to mention. We'll also look at the Baseball Hall of Fame has a few inductees, so we'll take care of that as well.
Forgot about that.
There was another item that I'll look that over. Also, of course, have UFC and WWE news as well. And any more off-season baseball moves. That to take care of. Also, your thoughts and comments. This Dayton sports history, our idiot of the week, maybe more. Sports trivia and any positive stories of the week that we'll bring to you. We'll have it for you. So remember, it's 512-543-4662 from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to like and share the page. And we're on Facebook Live.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, the Walker Report will be back next week at 8 p.m. These three gentlemen will be back with me next week. Until then, I want to thank the first responders and the minimum men of our armed services for doing what you do. I am the Sports Bradley Walker. We are part of NGSC Sports. Until next week, guys. Peace.
Good night, folks.
Good night and good luck.
Good night.
Thank you, Amaro.